Well, greetings and hello there, everybody. It's me, your beloved Star Wars dad, Nooch Too Good, your favorite Star Wars dad, your only Star Wars dad. You know, I do a lot of videos about mistakes I've made. I've done several videos, these top 10 mistakes, 10 more mistakes. Here are the mistakes I made, but I thought it'd be time to look at mistakes that you've made. Here are the mistakes you are making in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Literally, the mistakes you are making, because I asked my Discord server to come into a room, the mistakes you made, and tell me about all the mistakes that you've been making over time, so we can talk about it from your perspective rather than me just sitting up here spouting stuff. Spittle. Than me to sit here spittling stuff at you on a daily basis. So let's take a look. Cahill not subscribing to Nooch Sooners. Yeah, that's fair. Not subscribing to Nooch Sooner. I am fully on board. Omicron and Rolo. Omicron and Luminara. Chirpa Omicron. Accidental Zeta. You know, all those kind of go together. You know, applying the wrong Omicrons. I think a lot of us regret that Chirpa Omicron. When Omicrons first came out, it looked like the Chirpa Omicron was going to make the Ewoks really, really awesome. And what it did was make them a little more mid. Now, with Nisa in there, we know people like our friend Gerbil that have found a lot of useful. But yeah, applying the wrong Omicrons. I've got a top 5 or top 10 Omicron list out there, or your first 5 Omicrons. Take a look at that, but maybe it's time to refresh the idea of looking at what are the first Omicrons you should put on your roster so we can avoid mistakes like this, unfortunately. Accidental Zeta, yeah, you know, you click on that Zeta, you do it. Sorry, I think you can get those refunded from Capital Games, maybe not, because it does ask you twice, doesn't it, if you want to apply it? Purchasing the Chromium character packs, what a waste of it. Yeah, wow. So 320 crystals on the Chromium character pack, that's a huge mistake. That's one of the biggest wastes of 320 crystals I've ever heard about. Wow. Farming too many characters at once, getting ahead of myself in the game, and then getting stressed out from everything I have to do. You have done this yourself. If you just farm everything on the screen, and then you don't know what to farm, and you're stressing out, and you're looking and saying, I don't know, I got too many things to farm. How this game is crazy, there's just too much to do. Yeah, you have done this yourself. Pick one team at a time, work on that team, charge stuff in the background, finish that team, then move to the next one. And right now I'm going through this on my Lightspeed or my Hyperdrive roster right now. It is, there's so much stuff I got to get done, but I got to focus on one thing at a time and get it finished and then move on to the next thing. Applied Zeta on Omicron on weak Wampa. I see a lot of this. Weak Treya, like a Gear 8 Treya, Gear 8 Wampa with Zetas and Omicrons on them. Gear 8 Savage Opress. Man, get those guys geared up before you apply the Omicrons. You might be by applying it to Gear 8 and thinking, I'm going to take this guy to Relic. And then all of a sudden, bam, something else comes out that you got to chase in the game. Big shiny objects appear and you chase them. Get them reliced up before you, or get them ready to play before you apply the Zeta and Wampa. Gear up some useless characters. Yep, a lot of us did that. Investing early credits in the wrong characters, putting you behind. That's similar to gearing up useless characters. I've definitely seen a lot of rosters where a lot of low star, low gear characters were at level 85 across the board. It's just a supreme waste of credits to get to level up early. Spend credits leveling up low level characters. Kept changing my farms, finished farms. Yep, finish your farms. Not focusing on ships earlier. Oh man, 100%. You cannot do ships too early. If you don't do ships as fast as you can, you will be behind the 8-ball for sure. Making random teams with no synergy at all. Welcome to 2015 and Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, where random teams with no synergy go together. That's what mods. ... Not knowing what teams are good and farming the most random things. Yep. Also not knowing what to farm for farming paths to GLs. Yeah, it's in the journey guide. Not using journey guides would be a kind of a big mistake there. I farmed a journey character without having any of the team built. For instance, I farmed CLS after 6 months. I'm still, yeah, you know, I think a lot of us get to CLS fast though. You know, you get the farm boy, you get farm boy Leia, Stormtrooper Han, Old Ben. You can get him really easily and you think it's cool. You get CLS, you get R2 easily, and then it's like, wow, man, I gotta go get Ewoks, I gotta go get bounty hunters, and you just don't think about what all goes into it. I agree, not watching some content creator stuff sooner would have really helped me, but at this point, we're all mostly watching our beloved Star Wars dad, right? Well, all of you watching this video are watching your beloved Star Wars dad. Crystals, splurging, wasting. Yeah, you gotta be careful. Track your spending, make sure you're using those crystals for stuff that really benefits you, not just for random stuff that's out there. Wasting credits on useless characters. Yep, we said that earlier. Farming Geos, they are trash. Whoa! Shots fired by Kludgy Minotaur. Farming Geos there. I think I used them in Kyber 2 on offense like this week. They're not trash. Plus, you need the Malevolence feat. They're not trash. They're not trash. Go talk to AP. Going to sell a mod and end up upgrading it wasted. So so you're trying to sell a mod, but you accidentally click and upgrade it instead. I have done this. I've done this. Yeah, you know, if you do it every now and then, it's not, you know, 250,000 credits to upgrade it to 15. I get it, but as long as you don't do it a lot, you should be okay here. Taking Executor 6-star. I did this. Yes. Don't take Executor 6-star. It cannot counter other Executors, even other 6-star Executors. It's a mess for whatever reason. The turn meter gets blown up. Leave your Executor at 5 stars, get all of the shards, and take it straight to 7 stars. It's just the better way to do it. Restarted playing with a 7-year-old account, shard account, when I had about 500k Galactic Power instead of starting a new account. I would agree with this. It depends. If you played for like 3 or 4 years, you know, I get it. Donnie. Language, Donnie. I get it. You come back to a 7-year-old account, you played for 4 or 5 months, you keep playing it, you should probably just start a new account, especially with how quickly you can get to level 85 now. It's probably best you just go in, get a new ID, and start a brand new account. Bad mods. We're just going to say bad mods from Danny G. Danny. Language. Farming way too many teams at once to actually get anywhere in terms of progression. Yes. Not even knowing resets were a thing. Sat there for 4 days being like, how do people ever get characters up with 0 shard pulls every couple of days? Like resetting the energy with 25 crystals spent? Okay. Okay, yeah, that's an interesting one, Casper. I don't usually respond to... I don't... My grandpa used to say, when we played poker with my grandpa, but it was just chips. He'd pull out the chips, he'd play poker. And like when we're losing, we're all like, let's keep going. And he would just, and his quote was, deal, deal, cried the losers. If you're losing, don't compound it by spending crystals. Don't spend crystals because whatever you did in front of you didn't work. Just move on. You'll get shards tomorrow. It'll be okay. Not finish your farms, not working on getting better mods, and apply to Zeta on Magnagar. It's one of the worst Zetas in the game. It's so useless. One of the two eventually worked out, but my first Zeta and Omicron were a Grandmaster Yoda lead and Hera. Oh, dear God. Hera will work out, but that was probably before Captain Rex was in game, which makes it a bad decision. Honorable mention, mistook Kylo Ren for Sith Marauder, put him with Bane, almost lost Bane. Could we stop putting black helmets on every single Sith character so they all look the same? Not even resets. Yeah, we can talk about that a little bit. Not leaving my bad guild for 4 months. You know, that's something you really have to consider. I know a lot of people that will stick with your guild forever because that's where your friends are, that's your compatriots are, you're having fun, you're having a good time. Doesn't quite meet your perfect needs in game, but you're having a great time and this is where you want to be. I get it. If you're in a guild that's just not requiring people to get tickets, not really thinking forward with their bad territory battles, territory wars, just not really doing much right, you just need to get out. And honestly, if you see that activity after being in there for a week or two, out. You get in there and you notice that they require 600 tickets, but there's 20 people not getting tickets and they're not getting booted, you got to leave that guild. You got to move on. Or at least something being done about that, like recruiting new people coming in. You probably need to move on and find another guild. There's plenty of guilds out there. I got multiple videos on how to find a good guild. Go find one of those. Get a good guild. Not focusing on offense set for mod speed sets. Yeah, you know, that's true. I'm having some issues here today, but woke up I was like, and now, of course, it sounds a little bit better, but not a lot. Speed sets are the best sets in the game. Offense sets are really, really important. I agree that there's so many characters you apply offense to. So many. I've made too many in my journey to mention one, but I've learned most of them. Yes, thanks, Emi. Very vague, Emi. Having your first and only team when starting being shock clones. Shock it on heart. Shock. I think I'm supposed to say shock T, but we're gonna start saying shock it on the channel. Shock it. I might just shock it. Does that mean you die over and over again? On hard node, last sector fleet battles, my only team was reliant on a fleet. Shock T on hard node in the last sector of fleet battles. I thought you used ships on the last set. I'm confused. My only team was relying on a fleet node, but I didn't have G12 tuned yet, plus my second team was GG. B1 was on the node right after shock, so you can imagine how annoying to farm and play. But we farm these with ships. Oh, you farmed Shock T on the last sector of hard node, so you got her to 7 stars. That's 3 months you'll never get back. Your bad decisions weren't over yet. The first team you relicted was gas. That's not a bad decision. Then decided first GL with JMK was a good idea, then second GL Lord Vader was a good idea. Black speed bumps were unheard of by mages, and you probably didn't have Cat or... that doesn't sound like a lot of bad... this one sounds a little bit off. Sir Jeff, you're alright. You're doing okay. I am not knowledgeable in Zeta's knowledgeable. 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 Thank you. I am not knowledgeable in Zetas at all. I put 2 Zetas on Asajj and 1 on Droidica. I have no idea if it was a good choice. You still have no idea, Finn? You don't need Asajj's lead. That's like a 2017 Zeta. And you may not even really need her stacking one. Droidica's a good one for the GG team, but you already have that GG team. Or 2 years. Roy can't stay in his bad guild for 2 years. Is that Clark's cousin there? That's the first Zeta ever was Luminara. Yeah, excellent. Zeta on Luminara. Not hoarding gear mats effectively. You know, I think that's right. You know, at the beginning of the game, you are definitely low on gear mats. As the game progresses, you've got tons and tons and tons of them. And you don't just blow them and spend them on any old character on your roster. Save them for the characters you really need, ones you're really farming for. Leveling characters, I wasn't going to use 80 to 85. Agreed, 100%, we said that earlier. Which part? As a new player, the opportunity for content is endless. Casper, I need this explained. I think everybody needs that explained. Also, not hoarding credits. I have 30 million now, but back then, woo! Well, you can't hoard credits. It's really hard to hoard credits at the beginning of the game. The reset is what that means. I've already tried to interpret it, so we'll see. Using the resources to gear a lot of non-focused farms to gear 7. We really are focusing on this comment here. Using the resources to gear a lot of non-focused farms to gear 7 and not focusing on gearing yet. Yeah, 100%. You see a lot of purple characters on rosters. Purple characters mean nothing, you guys. Non-7-star, non-purple characters are useless in the game. There are very few. Qui-Gon Omicron lead you can use there, and I use them a lot. Trying to think of another. Wat Tambor with a Zeta would be useful at purple levels. I can't think of a lot more. Maybe Herbert Yoda, but even then, that's tough. He gets an AoE. He's still going to get hit. So, putting all my good speed mods on Marin for absolutely no reason. For those unaware, Marin gains turn meter by Night Sister allies being damaged. Basically, it's how she gains turn meters. So, you don't need her fast. You just need other allies to take damage. Not farming Phoenix earlier. Yeah, we all made that mistake because for a long time, they were not any good. Leveling up every character I unlocked. Yep. Farming random units. Yep. Originally, my main account, which I started in 2019 with a friend, I had no idea how the game worked, but saw Star Wars and thought, hey, there's a lot of characters in this game. I'm going to try to get them all maxed out at the same time. I later learned how to play the game and have since been attempting to fix my rooster. Then in 2022, I started my free-to-play account, which lets you tell me how the current level 85 grind is awful. Well, now they just changed it. Maybe it's not awful anymore. We're kind of learning about the new free-to-play grind, so we'll see. Casper again. What does the reset mean? First 3 energy resets are cheaper. First time you reset a character node, it's also cheap. Figure out. Okay, so what he's saying is he wasn't even using the energy resets, the 50 crystal energy resets for regular energy. Every day of your life in this game, you should use all 50 crystal resets in the game. Every day for the entirety of the game. You can do that forever. Sometimes you have to skimp on mods, sometimes you have to skimp on fleets, sometimes you got to skimp on Cantina battles. Regular energy, 3 resets, 50 crystals each, every single day. And then resetting character, we talked about that earlier. Figuring out that really helped with my Geo Soldier farm. Well, yeah, no doubt, although that's resetting Cantina energy, so... Yeah, sometimes, yeah. And early in the game, I'm not sure you do a lot of Cantina resets. As a free-to-play beginner 2 months ago, I farmed Cad Bane too early. I should have saved my Galactic War energy to buy the Geo ships. I think that's true. I also think Cad Bane's not a bad choice. His ship is really good. He is a scoundrel for your credit heist. I think Cad Bane is a really good early farm. Then he fades for a long time until you get those bounty hunter ships up and running, and he never really makes it into the character game except when you have him as a leftover. But I don't think it's a bad idea to farm Cad Bane early to get those scoundrels for the credit heist. Not being subbed, of course. Completing events only to leave a character at low gear level. Oh, like going and get Yoda, go to get Palpatine, go to get R2, leave them at low gear levels. Yeah, but if it doesn't fit with your current farm, I can see why you do that. You get a bunch of extra crystals from those events. So, originally when I started my first account, I was farming upwards of 4 or 5 teams and leaving them all at like gear 8, so when I hit level 85, first couple of relics, I was only focusing on 2 teams at a time and wouldn't move on until they were at least gear 12. Yeah, you know, 4 or 5 teams at a time, you can't do that. You gotta get... You need to finish one team before you... Yeah, just you know, FYF. As a new player from January 2024, so just 6 months in, it takes a long time to learn about resource management. I agree with that. That's 100% true. You boot up the game, you get level 30 the first night, so you start making 3, 4, 5, 6 teams of purple gear, you run out of credits, trying to gear more than 1 to 2 teams. At level 85, it gets even worse. Took me a long time to realize I only need to be yellow gearing 1 character that's gold gearing. It's not yellow. It's not yellow, it's gold. Gear 12 is gold. Yellow. Then relicking 1 character, modding 1-ish character, Omega. This is not how we do it. I would watch a whole video on resource management discipline. I'll look through here. So far we got, let's see here. Omicron's resource management. It's a tough one, so but we'll talk about it. Wasted gear 12 on tunes that I didn't have to gear 13. Yeah, so if you get a character to gear 12, don't apply unless you know you're taking that character to relic to gear 13. Like they're in your team that you're farming right now. Don't put 1 piece of gear on that gear 12 at a time. You see that a lot. You look at a gear 12 character, they have 6 pieces of gear around them. Don't do 1 at a time unless you know that you're taking them to gear 13, because what will happen is you do 1 at a time, you just drop a piece of gear on a random character at gear 12. Well, that gear would have come in handy for this character over here on the team that you're working on. Don't do that. Just leave them blank. Leave those gear 12s blank. Didn't watch the mod videos when I started first, made some horrible 6-dot mods. Yep, biggest regret. I started the game before fleets were a thing and quit after a few months, so I came back. Yep, there we go. That's the same thing. Start a new account. If your account is that old, start a new account. Notably, it's not in CG's interest for people to learn resource management. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I think that it's the same with like putting baseball and football games on TV, right? It benefits the sport by more people watching, then more people want to go to the games. The more people that learn resource management, the more people take the game seriously, the more people invest in this game, both with their attention and time and funds, possibly. I think people learning resource management is good for capital games. It might be good for capital games in the short run for them not to learn it, but in the long run, it's better for capital games and the game in general, the health of the game, for people to learn how to play the game properly. I quit when they released relics. I converted every piece of gear I owned into relic scavenge. Now back after 4 years, I have an abundance of wiring. Hey, congratulations. Pick a farm pass, stick to it, spend thousands of credits whenever I ran out of credits. Thinking Ahsoka was a good leader. That's a mistake. She's not a good leader. In-game, calm down. Dropped the game early mid-2007, 2017. Missed a ton of time. Well, yeah, you know, well, is that a mistake? You know, you might have dropped a game because it didn't fit your lifestyle at the time, didn't really fit what you're looking to do. Yeah, that's not really a mistake, necessarily. Being in the server watching Nooch videos. We may need to boot Chewie. You know, this looks like a troll. Great. Really, dude? Alright, so neglecting ships and not farming the shards for them, I did, yeah, no neglect ships. Also, yeah, don't use recommended mods. Recommended mods are a mess. Don't use them. Don't use them. Use swgoh.gg to find the best mods. Pulled all Zetas on every character set, seeing as Zeta was essential. Yeah, I've done that. I have done this recently. I put all the Zetas on Darth Bane, then I realized one of them is for a Sith Eternal lead. Hey! Oops. Let's see. Being scared to sign up for TW because I was low GP thinking, yeah, no, sign up, baby. If they let you in the guild, they'll let you sign up for TW and they'll let you place teams. And if they don't, get a new guild. Forgot about Prestige for exec. Didn't buy the Prestige in the Squad Arena store for the Executor unlock. That is brutal. That is brutal. We're going to probably wrap this up. We have to come back and do part 2 of this. Maybe we'll wrap it up with Vossman here with the comments. So, doing journeys and abandoning the farm instead of getting... Yeah, man. If you're going to pick a journey to do the whole team. Now, that said, again, get a lot of extra crystals from a lot of journeys. So, on free-to-play, I do a lot of journeys myself just to get the crystals. Here's a funny one I did back when I wasn't aware of a ton of stuff in game. I didn't even know what taking a character relic was. I played game for a few years, not knowing about relics. Relics have only been out for a few years. That's interesting. All I knew about is that you need a lot of gear and it takes a long time to get that gear. I took a break and came back, started watching Nooch Too Good, gained a ton of game knowledge. That still shocks me to this day. I came back to an account with around 4 million GP with exactly 100 Gear 12 characters. Now, depending on when you quit, it could have made some sense, but wow, 100 Gear 12 characters. It's been a painful grind to relic characters ever since, but something I can laugh about. Also, I used to simply use the basic auto assign for my, yep, there you go. So, boys and girls, hey, that's going to be part 1. This has taken me a long time to get through, a lot of comments from you guys, so I will come back here in a few days. We'll do part 2 of mistakes you are making in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. These are literally mistakes that you are making, and almost every single one of these comments has had something unique and different and interesting in there. This is really good knowledge for those coming into the game, and we have a lot of videos in the game for all these mistakes in game. Maybe you can just watch, if you just watch through a free-to-play playlist that I've got, you will see a lot of these mistakes being made. Watch through the Jabba farm, watch through the Sith Eternal farm. You will see a lot of these mistakes, how to get around them, how to do them right. That's all we got for today. I'll be back with part 2 later. Of course, have a wonderful day, wonderful evening, wonderful night, wonderful morning, and always remember, Nooch Too Good. Oops!